in the evening. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you again for joining me. Thank you again for joining us. The ladies here for All St. Lucia, they are in the audience. You will get to hear and see who they are very soon. They will be briefly introducing themselves. I can see the excitement on their faces. They have come a long way. They have, because it is not easy to get through to this program. Though it is a free program, it's not easy to get through. I'm a tough cookie, you know. I don't just let anybody get into this program. I look for people that have potential and people that are looking to make a difference. These are the people that need our support. So I am going to call upon this gentleman, as I stated before, that I have come to know for the past couple of years, who has been a very instrumental, who has played a very instrumental role in the Public Affairs Department of the US Embassy of Barbados, Eastern Caribbean, and the OECS. And I am speaking of none other than Mr. Larry Socha. Larry, would you please bless us, introduce yourself, of course, and then tell us a bit about the embassy and its role in the OECS program.
Thank you so much for that very kind introduction, Michelle. So great to see you again. So great to see that hat again. I was just in St. Lucia last week and had the amazing opportunity to sit down with Michelle and several of the entrepreneurs from the cohort earlier this year. What are you calling that, Michelle? The first cohort of 2021, or?
I call it the second installment of cohort 2021. Yeah.
The second installment of cohort 2021. So happy to be with you. I'm the public affairs officer here at the U.S. Embassy in Bridgetown, Barbados. As you may know, there is one embassy here in Barbados responsible to Barbados and 7 independent countries in the Eastern Caribbean. One of those, of course, is St. Lucia. It is a country near and dear to our hearts here in Bridgetown. The ambassador was there just last week as part of a number of different initiatives, meeting with the new administration, of course. They're welcoming the recent arrival of the thousands of Pfizer vaccines that showed up at the airport through a donation from the United States. But perhaps the best part of that entire day, I would say, my favorite part of that whole day, was sitting down with graduates of the Academy for Women Entrepreneurs St. Lucia. AWE, as I call it, or the AW program, as others call it, is something that came from the highest levels of the US government, from the White House directly, because Special Assistant to the President, Ivanka Trump, firmly believed in something that we called at the time WGDP. So GDP, we normally understand as gross domestic product, an indication of the success of an economy. But the spin this time around was WGDP, stood for Women's Global Development and Prosperity Initiative. And part of that WGDP program was the Academy for Women Entrepreneurs. And we're so happy that it is not a program that's just relegated to one administration or another. This is an idea that works. And it's an idea that has lasted now 2 presidential administrations and has widespread bipartisan support in the United States. Why? Because it works. Embassy Barbados, or Embassy Bridgetown, was here from the beginning. We started our cohort here in Barbados in 2019 with a number of other pilot countries. Since then, AWE has grown to take place in more than 70 countries around the world, which is truly amazing. So we've had 2 successful cohorts here in Barbados. Michelle has led cohorts in St. Lucia, and will also be expanding the program this year to Antigua and Grenada as well, and hopefully St. Kitts. So it shows that when good things are watered, they grow. And that's how I feel about the Academy for Women Entrepreneurs. I do not have a business background. I am a diplomat. My background is in education. I was a secondary school teacher before joining the Foreign Service about 13 years ago. But I have had the great opportunity to participate in a number of leadership trainings and initiatives during the course of my career, both in education and in the State Department. And one of the recent trainings I took part in was actually with the Harvard Business School. And one of the speakers in our during the course of our program was a woman by the name of Karen Mills. Karen Mills comes from a business family. Her members of her family actually were the CEOs of the Tootsie Roll company, if you're familiar with that candy in the United States. But she's a very accomplished woman, and she was actually the 23rd administrator of the Small Business Administration, or the SBA, in the United States, which is the government agency that is focused on supporting small businesses. And as I reflected on her bio and what she shared with our class, one thing that she said stuck with me. And that's the idea that, quote, small businesses, you can give them capital, which is to say you can give them money or you can give them resources. But what they often need as much is mentoring, advice, and help with their business plan. And that's so important to keep in mind during the Academy for Women Entrepreneurs, because yes, resources and financing are something that you'll talk about and you'll discuss and you'll share as a group. But what we really try to do with the Academy of Women Entrepreneurs is share resources, ideas, and innovation with one another. And that mentoring and that network is such an important part, and it kicks off tonight. And I'm so glad that Michelle invited me to be part of the conversation this evening, because I hope that you'll consider the U.S. Embassy, which sponsors and supports the Academy for Women Entrepreneurs St. Lucia, as part of your network. We have very wide goals at the Embassy. Our goals are to promote security, prosperity, and democracy in the Eastern Caribbean. Part of that is supporting small businesses, because small businesses are the engines of the economy. We know tourism is fickle. Tourism is wonderful, and St. Lucia is a fantastic place that tens of thousands of Americans visit. But that curve is sometimes a roller coaster, especially in COVID-19. All of you, by taking this step tonight and joining this journey with Michelle and one another, are getting on a journey to build your brands, to build your businesses, and to grow your ideas. And so the United States Embassy is proud to stand with you. We want to hear from you. We're going to continue to keep in touch over the course of these next months. But we are so excited for the step you're taking tonight, because we realize how important it is, and also the risk that you're taking, that you don't know how this is going to turn out. You don't know perhaps even what you're going to learn, or you've heard about this Dream Builder program that you're going to work, this online software that was developed in Arizona State University. But what's it going to mean to me? What is it going to mean to my business plan? And how am I going to make money at the end of the day? Those are all wonderful questions I have here at the start. I hope that the Embassy with Michelle and all of you can be supports in answering those questions. And as I said, growing your businesses and helping you take the next economic step for you, your families, and your communities. So thank you for the invitation tonight. We're very excited as you take this first step in your business journey with the Academy for Women Entrepreneurs, and we hope you'll keep us up to date on the successes and even some of the challenges that you face in the months ahead. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Larry, for these kind words. And let me just say that you look really awesome in that polo. I mean, I'm accustomed of seeing you, all swagged up in a suit. So you look pretty handsome in that red shirt, might I say. So again, thank you very much, Larry, for those kind words. And Larry, again, like I said, has been very instrumental. Contact for me at the US Embassy, has always maintained that relationship with us Wildliers, and to ensure that the programs that we run here in St. Lucia are always implemented to the best of our abilities, ensure that we have the right resources connected as well, so that we can effectively bring this program to St. Lucian women and of course to the rest of the. So thank you again, Mr. Larry Socha. And I do have, speaking of partnerships and relationships, the next speaker that you're going to hear from is a young man who I have recently met in 2020. He recently assumed the position of the Startup Huddle Manager over at the Global Entrepreneurship Network, or Gen HQ, based out of Washington, DC. And this young man, he basically hit the ground running. When we connected, we had powwows, we had meetups to discuss what would happen, with the Startup Huddle programs that are currently running throughout the world. And we have a Gen program running here, well, more than one, but the one in particular we're going to be speaking about is Startup Huddle St. Lucia. And that is actually part of the program of activities that these awesome ladies are going to be participating in. They're going to learn storytelling techniques and skills during their involvement and participation in Startup Huddle St. Lucia. And I felt it fitting to extend an invitation to the Startup Huddle manager over at Gen so that he can give you a basic overview as to their support, Gen's support of All St. Lucia and the involvement of Gen into this program. And I'm extremely grateful for this partnership. So I'm speaking of none other than Mr. Pauly Suchy. Pauly, are you there?
Yes. Thank you for making me feel better about myself. You always give really good introductions. It's fantastic. Also, I really like your hat, just to start the whole thing off. It's great to be able to talk again with everyone here. I know I had the chance to meet with everyone at the last event you hosted. I think it was another event that you host with SLUDTERA, but either way, it's fantastic to be here again. And I think the thing I want to talk about is the partnership we are forming with Michelle and the relationship I'm building with her. I think the thing that's that I hope everyone takes away from here is the fact that here, everyone at Gen and me specifically working on Startup Huddle, I'm doing my best to try to take what you guys are all working on and all of the activities, the ventures, all the hard things you're going through to try to get your business off the ground and support that through our work, through our network. So, you know, Michelle has kind of been one of the biggest ambassadors of the program. And since I've joined in the last like 7 months, this program and this whole curriculum has been put together, and it's not easy. And it's a lot of work. And so everything she's doing is something that I think people sometimes look over and don't really like recognize how hard it can be or how difficult it can be, especially when, you know, you live in a place where an industry is dominated by, I mean, when the whole economy is dominated by, you know, a couple different industries, right? There's a lot of hard ways that, hard things that she has to go through to, you know, get off the ground and get the resources she needs to do the work she's trying to do. And I'm talking about this because of the topic she hoped I got to cover, which was women in emerging economies. And, you know, it's kind of sad that we still have to have this conversation in so many different places around the world, and that, you know, it is so much more difficult for women to get the resources they need to do or to participate in entrepreneurship. I can't speak about the facts. I'm not an expert on this, but I do know from working with angel investors and working with startups that it's a problem that's going to continue to happen. And I only hope that people have the courage to keep trying to do what they need to do to get their business off the ground and start something successful and build their community. You know, those are the only words I can really leave everyone here with today is, you know, some words of hope and, you know, encouragement, because nothing will change if you guys don't do your best to try to build everything you possibly can with the passion and the resources that are available to you. And of course, as I mentioned, we'll be here to support you in every way we can. I can't do everything my mind dreams of doing, but I'll do my best to support Michelle and do the things that you know, I can accomplish with the amount of time that I have. So I just want you to say, I just want to say that, you know, we're in your corner and we're doing our best to, you know, support you in the ways that we can as a nonprofit. I think the final thing I'll end on is a story, just a quick little story. I think it's super important. So it was like my little sister. She was asking me like, what is entrepreneurship? She's 7 years old. And the thing that I couldn't wrap my head around was like how hard it is to like explain to people what you actually go through when you're trying to build something, you're trying to launch a business. And even to the person who's launching the business, it's completely nebulous. You feel like you're kind of in the dark. You don't know what you want to do. You really just want to give up and scream and like hide in your bed or whatever it might be. But I explained it to her in a way that I thought was really like helpful for someone who doesn't have as much of experience in the world as we do as adults. And it's this idea of like, okay, so if you put like 20 people in like a big ass room and you turn off the lights, and somewhere like hiding in the wall somewhere is like a circuit, right? The circuit will turn the lights on, right? Out of those 20 people in the first hour, half of them will leave because they'll give up trying to turn on the light. The other half might like find out where the circuit started and try to like make their way, like cross their fingers, like in the pitch black, like trying to trace it, trying to find it. But more than likely than not, everyone is going to leave that room. And the difference between like a successful entrepreneur and someone who is, you know, not to be like mean, but an average person who is just going to do what they need to do to take care of their family, which there's nothing wrong with that, is their willingness to go and try to find out how to turn the lights on, how to get out of the dark instead of leaving and assuming that there is no way to turn it on. So I just thought I'd share that because if, you know, I think it's really helpful when you do feel like you're in the dark and feel like there's no pathway forward. And I always think about that story when I don't know what to do, because it's actually not as hard to be in the dark as you think once you just accept the fact that you're in the dark and you start just embracing it. So anyway, I thought that was really fitting for this kickoff session with and everything you all are going through, because it's hard work, and I just want you to feel excited and inspired and to know that there's better things ahead if things do seem dark. So that's the end of my speech, but I'm really grateful that I have the opportunity to speak with you all, and I hope the best for everyone.
Thank you very much, Pauly. And let me just say that I am actually looking forward to those other meetups that we have, you know, rolling up. We have a big event that we're gearing up for in November. So I'm really hoping that our ladies, or at least some of them, will be able to participate. And I'm talking about GEC, a very, very, very big event coming up at the end of the year. Yeah. So Pauly, would you mind giving them a bit of a taste of the incentive, of course, being a member of GEN and this big event coming up?
Yeah, okay, so GEC is the Global Entrepreneurship Congress. If you don't know the acronym, we have the pleasure of hosting in a different city every year. And we basically bring together a group of people from government, from the policy side, people who are working on trying to remove barriers to entrepreneurship, trying to work in government, have direct effect on the public sector. We have folks like Michelle who are working directly in the ecosystems and trying to figure out ways to build these communities and support these entrepreneurs as a support organization or consultant or some sort of institution, education. And then we have investors, and then of course the entrepreneurs themselves. And so we have a bunch of different tracks, but we invite, I think, upwards of like 160 different countries to the actual summit itself. This year we're already at like 120, and it's anywhere between like 5,000 to 8,000 people, and it's people who kind of have this similar vision and this similar focus, right, on entrepreneurship. But those people that dream, those people that are trying to build things in places that aren't like at the level of like being like a fully developed economy with industries that are like, you know, bringing everyone up. You know, it's just, there's a lot of emerging ecosystems in the space, and it's a really beautiful thing to see. And there's a lot of people to learn from. So that's why I find it inspiring. But we'll have a lot of different sessions and a lot of different tracks for people to join. And the only conduit or the caveat is trying to find a way to Saudi Arabia. We do sponsor the EWC finalists that go onto the international stage to compete. And we do fly out some members, but it's not something that I can actually speak about because I don't have the authority to do that. I wish I did, because I would just invite everyone. But either way, that is kind of the caveat. But it is really one of the most inspiring events, and it's how I actually found this career that I'm currently in. And I can't really say how exciting. I mean, it really is the most exciting thing. It's like all the greatest, most inspiring minds coming into one place in the world and just looking at each other and saying, okay, what's going on in your ecosystem? What's going on in your community? How are you fixing those things? How are things failing? How can I find some practices that work for you and implement them in my own? Or how can I support startups that are trying to break into your market, right? Or, the list goes on. But yeah, I think that's a good summary. It starts on November 14th and ends on November 17th, just for logistical purposes. So it's a big event, and I'm currently trying to put the programming together, and I'm hoping Michelle makes it out there with us.
I am going to do my best. I'm looking at COVID, with one eye, COVID, because COVID is messing up with my plans, Pauly, messing up my plans, right? I mean, GEC, and I mean, this is for everybody who's listening. Those persons who have never heard of GEC or the Global Entrepreneurship Congress, this is the event that brings together entrepreneurs from all across the globe under the GEN umbrella in one location. Every single year, a different country is selected. And the last time I attended was in 2019, was in Bahrain. And that was where I was first introduced to EWC, Entrepreneurship World Cup, and brought it back home to St. Lucia. I bring stuff back home. I don't carry anything in my suitcase, but I brought a whole competition back home because I'm always looking for opportunities and ways for entrepreneurs and young persons to utilize their skills, to explore opportunities, to basically, put themselves out there and see how that can make a difference in the economy. So I am very much looking forward to GEC this year in Saudi Arabia. I'm really hoping that I'll be able to make it. And of course, the ladies that are on this call, we're looking to see how many of you can make it out there. So Pauly, thank you so much for that synopsis of what GEC is. And also, ladies, you got a little bit of a snippet of what to expect in the storytelling component of your program with Startup Huddle St. Lucia. And now the next speaker that you're going to hear from is a young woman. And when implementing the OP program in St. Lucia, looking at the local programming and what is needed for the market, for the current market, especially now with COVID, everything is going digital. I mean, persons are looking for ways to put their business online and to market themselves online. And you find that a lot of people are experiencing difficulty in really grasping the whole digital spectrum. They just don't see how they fit because they're thrown into it because of COVID. But hey, when life throws a curveball, we entrepreneurs take that and make it into something new. So what I decided to do was to partner with someone with a background in social media, definitely someone who can help the women establish themselves on social media so that they can connect with their target market, because like I said, it's a digital world right now. And so SLUDTERA, through my organization, I partnered with the Evolution Public Relations Management, and that is a PR company, of course, and that is run by Miss Vanessa Phillip. And now I am going to ask Vanessa to please briefly introduce herself and to give a bit of an overview as to what the social media training that the ladies will be encountering in the program. So they will be connecting with Vanessa towards module 5 or week 5 in the program, where we deal with marketing, but she deals specifically with social media marketing. And there's a 5-day training program that was developed and is going to be tailored to the ladies of the program. So Vanessa Phillip, please unmute yourselves and tell persons a little bit about who you are, EVPM, and of course, your social media training.
Thank you very much, Michelle. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much, Michelle, for this opportunity once again to connect with the Academy of Women Entrepreneurs. So to formally introduce myself, my name is Vanessa Phillip, originally from the beautiful island of St. Lucia with a personal love for Trinidad and Tobago. I have to slip that in every time. I am a social media strategist, social media consultant, as well as a business consultant and public relations specialist. And as Michelle mentioned, the name of my company is Evolution Public Relations Management, and we have bases in Trinidad and Tobago and St. Lucia. It gives me great pleasure to work with a fresh set of entrepreneurs. It excites me because, I mean, I've known Michelle for many, many years, and I have been in the trenches with her. We were really in a space of, we were trying to make entrepreneurship a real thing in a place where everybody had commonplace jobs. And I'm very proud of where we have gotten as individuals in our organizations. It gives me great pleasure, as I said, to connect with all St. Lucia with the module 5 in regards to marketing, with a specification on social media. So very quick story. When COVID hit hard in 2020, I was stuck at home like many of you, if not all of you. Business was not running for me. I have been involved in entrepreneurship from 2011, 2012. The Evolution Public Relations Management started in 2014. So business was running for me, but when COVID hit, like a lot of brick and mortar places and a lot of other people, everything shut down for me. I was not earning any money. And I decided to be proactive. I decided to be more active on LinkedIn. I decided to be more active in regards to different activities that would benefit entrepreneurs. And so I held a 5-day challenge, and I called it the model method for social media. I have been involved in the Caribbean fashion industry for the last 21 years. Yes, I know I don't look my age. And so from that 21-year stint in the fashion industry, I have learned a lot of skills, not only to advertise designer wear, but I realized that a lot of what I learned in my modeling career could have applied to social media, could have applied to PR, it could have applied to business. And so I created a 5-day challenge, which was absolutely free, open to entrepreneurs. And at the time, Michelle was just starting the pilot program of St. Lucia, which was called Dream to Reality program in that time. And she said, okay, Vanessa, I'm going to introduce it to those ladies. And so a lot of those ladies came on. I had quite a few connections through LinkedIn. I had somebody from South Africa, I had a few people from India join it. It was a very great experience. And so Michelle said, you know what, Vanessa, I think the ladies need this. And so it broke down into, instead of a 5-day challenge, we recreated it to be a 5-day course. And model is an acronym. So each letter means something. M means something, O means something, D means something, E means something, L means something. It's an acronym. And when we get to module 5, ladies, you will know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm not gonna let the cat out of the bag, but basically the 5-day program, it focuses in on social media content. Social media content, I know that you might hear it, people might be like, what is Vanessa talking about social media content? Everybody here should have a Facebook account. Everybody here should have or might not, but should know what an Instagram account is. When you go on your phone, your device, and you scroll and you look at the different businesses that has, they have ads, they have sales, they have all of these things, what you're seeing is called social media content. And what the model method for social media will teach you is how to make your content irresistible, to create that thumb-stopping effect when people go through, people who like your page or follow your account, when they go through their news feed, you have to create something or pieces of content that would stop that person and cause that person to lean into what you're saying, what you're advertising, what you're selling, and to cause them to tap or click if they are on their desktop, and to actually engage with your content, and of course, eventually become your customer or your client. So that is what the model method will be teaching you. And I'm very excited about it because it is something where the two cohorts that actually took this course, this 5-day course, their eyes were opened. We got some really good feedback on it, and I'm excited to share it with you. So that's model method That's the breakdown of model method. And I'm excited to meet the ladies of this new cohort, the inductees. And it's an amazing thing to be part of St. Lucia. My last words that I want to say is that listening to Mr. Larry Socha and Pauly as well from Gen Global, it reinforces the thing that I say all the time about entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs are the lifeblood of any nation, any nation. The person that has a little shop in the community that supplies people with the basic needs when all supermarkets are closed, they are so valuable. They are entrepreneurs. And I'm happy that the ladies that have been accepted into this program, some of you may have a dream, some of you may have an idea, you might not have a business plan yet, you have no idea, you just know you have that drive. And to be quite honest with you, I'm gonna let the cat out of the bag. That's how Michelle, Samuel, and I was at some point. We had no idea how it was gonna happen, but we sat down in an office together and we were just sharing all these bright ideas. And many years later, here we are, and we are connecting once again, and we're actually helping entrepreneurs like ourselves make something of themselves. So I just want to encourage you ladies. The program is an amazing program. Yes, it's going to challenge you. Yes, you're going to think like, okay, this is too much for me. I am not internet savvy, whatever it is. You're an entrepreneur. You have it in you to never give up. That's what makes us great. We are resilient people, right? So I just want to encourage you guys and welcome you guys to the program. And thank you so much for your time. And I'm excited to work with you. Thank you so much. Thanks, Michelle.
Thank you very much, Vanessa. Very well said. Vanessa, of course, will be connecting not directly, with the ladies because her program is pre-recorded. So the ladies, you are in a self-paced 5-day program, which was created by Vanessa for social media marketing. And that is specifically to ensure that you put yourselves out there in the best way possible, to ensure that you're social media ready. We're talking about your LinkedIn. What does your profile on LinkedIn look like? Are you ready to attract business, to attract customers and clients? Are you ready to be social on Facebook? We're not talking about selling on Facebook. We're talking about being social on Facebook. How do you connect with people? And if, again, as Vanessa said, you're not social media savvy, there are experts out there that are ready and willing to take the helm and run it for you. But of course, you must know the basics of how to get that done. And this is, of course, what we will be training you to do. Now, our next speaker is a young woman that I very much admire. We actually went to school at SLUDTERA at some point. We were in business class together. And I saw her potential way back then. I mean, this girl, when we were doing case studies, I mean, I'm good at writing. I mean, I'm a writer, I'm a published writer, but there's something about her tenacity when it comes to business. I mean, I have it, but it's in her blood, it's in her DNA. And I just have a phenomenal amount of respect for her. I mean, we left school together and she just skyrocketed, to attain all of those accolades, the experience and the knowledge that she has now gained to become a CEO of a major telecommunications company. And I'm speaking none other of Kerchelle Charles Hodge. Kerchelle is with us in the capacity of a mentor. And towards the end of the program, she is one of the mentors who'll be working with our all ladies to fine-tune their business plans, perfect them, make them comprehensive, make them articulate documents without words, only on paper, so that when our ladies go before these financial institutions, angel investors, or potential business partners, they can get a yes. And also, in addition to those business plans, working on action plans, working on those SMART goals. And in addition to that, not like these women have enough, work to do, we're challenging them to create community impact projects projects that they can implement by working together to implement in their communities, in their economies. So we're not just training these women to be professionally sound, we're training them to also give back to the community. And what better person than Kerchelle herself? Kerchelle?
Hello, everyone. Hello, good evening. And thank you, Michelle, for the great introduction. I appreciate it. Good evening, my ladies, my sweet, empowered women on the call. Good evening. Something I always say on calls, we are badasses, and that's what we're going to continue to be, because I believe I am one as well. So we definitely want to see our ladies remain that way. It was very refreshing listening to the men on the call. It's always nice that men can talk about women in these capacities. We need to find our place. And as I start, the introduction, I just want to start with a quote or a statement that if you're not invited to the table, you bring your own chair. And this is where we want to be, and we always want to be in that capacity. You pull your chair to the table even though you have not been invited. So in the role of a mentor, well, before I start, I just want to introduce myself. My name is Kerchelle Charles Hodge. Definitely St. Lucian at heart. I spend my time in St. Lucia and Anguilla. I used to be the CEO of Digicel in Anguilla and the marketing manager in Digicel in St. Lucia. And on my 15th anniversary, I decided to become an entrepreneur because, of course, working for 15 years for a corporate company, I believe I can give so much more to my business. So I decided to walk away from Digicel. Everybody thought it was crazy because it was in COVID, but it made me work so hard that I became successful in a small business and in a small frame of small time, a small duration. So the name of my business is Advanced Company Group. It is a digital solutions business and also a go-to-market business. So we help persons go to market with their products and services. I also started a clothing fashion boutique. I always loved fashion, and I decided to open a boutique as well. So I have a fashion boutique called Modus Operandi, and the women are loving it because for me, it was a way to celebrate women. So we talk about women entrepreneurs. My tagline is a style for every story. And it meant that it's a style for everyone, a style for persons with low self-esteem. It's a style for the very small women who can't find clothes to fit them. It's a style for the very big and curvy women, tall women. So it was a story I wanted to tell about me to ensure that I celebrate all women across the Caribbean. So in my role, when Michelle asked me to be a mentor, I was very excited because for me, mentorship helps me empower women, empower entrepreneurs, also help with building self-reliance. As an entrepreneur, you always have to be self-reliant and responsible in what you're doing. You have to love what you do and make it yours and continue to love it until the end, even though it's challenging. So my role, as Michelle said, is to ensure that I keep you going, I keep you on your feet, and I ensure that your goals are always crushed daily. So very simply, I want to help you as a woman entrepreneur succeed in this program, and I'm happy to be part of the program as well. So it's twofold for me, a mentor as well as being part of the program. I'm happy to be part of the second cohort. And of course, I can't wait to work with each and every one of you ladies on the call. So thank you, Michelle, for giving me the opportunity. Big up Vanessa and all the rest of the women on the call. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Kerchelle, for these wonderful words. And Kerchelle has been with me in the program from the first installment when we started in April. And it has been a wonderful breath of fresh air to have this powerhouse woman. I call her a powerhouse woman because of what she brings to the table. I mean, she really challenges them. And currently the first installment of ladies who completed the program from April to July are currently in mentoring with Kerchelle and also another one of our mentors. And she is giving me some really great feedback on them. And I really cannot wait for her to work with our new inductees and to see what you ladies are coming up with. I'm so excited, to work with all of you. And also, let me just second what Kerchelle said was that we have a wonderful blend of men and women, male and female voices here, all for the purpose of empowering our women. I mean, our theme for this evening, is very fitting because we're talking about empowering women to help build a resilient economy. And our economy is being tested. I was gonna say is or has, but it still is being tested. And we have to come up with ways to adapt, consistently adapt. And there's a word that I like to use, it's called repurpose. Whenever we have a purpose in life and we have a set goal for ourselves and we see a set vision, a set number of paths and steps to take to where we need to go to, and we're hit with a curveball or a hurdle, do we stop? Do we turn back, or do we repurpose? Do we evaluate ourselves and evaluate the situation and see, based on what I have now and based on the resources that I have available to me, what can I do next, or what should I do next? I should not be asking, what can somebody do for me? I should be asking, what can I do to help solve this problem? And that's what we're doing. So you women that are on this call, you ladies that are going to be taking this training, continue to think of yourself as problem solvers, because we're constantly going to be challenging you, putting you in the position of seeing, hey, there's a problem. Let's come up with a solution. And that is what it is you're going to be doing for the economy by extension, through your businesses and through your ventures. And I'm so excited to have you as part of this program. So we have another speaker, or should I say we had another speaker lined up for this evening. Unfortunately, she is encountering some technical difficulties with her Wi-Fi, as some of my other colleagues who could not make it are experiencing as well. So she sent in a video so that she can share her remarks, and I will be sharing my screen so that I could play this video for you. Okay, so please bear some patience with me while I share the screen. And the individual that you're going to hear from is Miss Lisa Yarde. Lisa is a wonderful woman that I have come to know in terms of her capacity and her extensive knowledge in project management and psychology. And her background in that made it sort of a mandatory thing for me that I be exposed to personal development. Because what I learned in last year's cohort was that several women have a lot of hindrances, whether they be things, whether they be people, that prevent them from moving forward in their lives. And what I discovered was that when these women have someone to talk to share these hindrances, that are affecting them, that are stunting their growth, their professional growth, they're able to move forward. Just being able to talk about it, or to have someone listen to them, or to find ways to deal with it and manage it. We are not only training professional women, we're training women, and they're becoming holistic individuals. So we have combined professional with personal development. And of course, through my daily or nightly devotions with them, we will be touching on the spiritual aspect as well. So the few words that you're going to hear next is from Miss Lisa Yarde. We have partnered with her company called LISVALU, and the program that she's going to be delivering to the ladies is called Grow. And when you think about grow, think of a seed, and think of what can happen when a seed has the right conditions. It has nothing else to do but to grow. It just, like I said, needs the right conditions. And this is what we're trying to assist you in doing with our personal development training through LISVALU. So let's take a listen to Lisa Yarde's remarks.
My name is Lisa Yarde. I am the founder and owner of LISVALU. LISVALU provides personal development training online to women and girls 18 years and over for structured courses. All the courses that we provided to you guys is called the Grow course, which are for beginners. And it's for women who believe they need to reinforce self-love. It's actually learning to love yourself more, and also learn to understand why you should love yourself more. We have partnered with the ON program to bring to you this course called Grow. And I'm hoping to see all 19 of you guys on this course. I'm hoping to see the enthusiasm and the self-investment that you have placed in you as a woman, as a person, as an individual, as a soul, as self. I'm hoping to see that when you come to this course, you come with an open mind. You're not expecting a quick fix, but you will expect to see a continual growth as you take this course. I recommend that you go to the Canvas page and register on the link below. Click on that link and register for my course. I'll be starting tomorrow evening, 8 to 9, every other Wednesday. I can't wait to see you guys. I can't wait to hear and share our stories. It's not about competing, it's about growth. It's about being someone better than who you are right now. It's about learning to accept failures and learning to improve on those failures. Learn to accept the success and learn to better the successes. So as professional women, when you come to this personal development workshop called the Grow, it will help you also in your personal life, and the change will also begin. I hope to see you tomorrow evening. Can't wait to share the experience. See you guys. Cheers.
All right, and that was our personal development coach, Miss Lisa Yarde. Someone said that it sounded muffled. I do apologize. That was, I think it was the recording quality that was not too on par, not too perfect, which is why it was delivered that way. I do apologize. But what basically Lisa was saying was she was introducing the ladies in the program to grow. And I highly recommend those of you who have not yet decided to sign up for Grow, I highly recommend that you do so. Because again, as I stated, every one of us, and this is this is factual. These are facts that I'm sharing with you. Every woman has issues that they're dealing with in their personal lives that may hinder them from moving or progressing forward. And I am a firm believer that what you're meant to do, you must seek counsel so that you can be successful in it. And that is also why we are coupling that with spiritual growth. And when we have our facilitated sessions on Thursday evenings, we will be doing devotions. Yes, we will be opening up every session with prayer. We'll be going through a passage of scripture and be doing devotion and what this scripture means to me, what it means to you, and how do we dissect this and how do we apply this to our professional life, personal life, so that we understand that we each have a purpose. We are championing you, we are empowering you, but we're also challenging you to do some self-reflection, to look at where you are right now in your lives and see where your shortcomings are that may provide something of a wall for you so that you can't move forward. And that's what the personal development helps you to do. It helps you to overcome that, to work through it so that you don't get knocked off course. But when you add that to your spiritual growth, you become a powerhouse woman. And I know because I am living the life of a powerhouse woman by the grace of God. And you will, of course, be engaging with other women just like you. We don't promote competition, we promote collaboration, working together, partnering. Too many times I've heard the saying that, women always know how to fight down each other. Put men together and they're all about a power trip. They want to see who can get this thing first. But women fight each other and don't move forward. So we are sort of challenging that, that level of thinking, and we are saying that we can change that. We can grow out of that. And this network of women we are creating through All St. Lucia is just that. Partnering, collaborating, working together, building with each other in order to progress. And I am very, very, very excited, you ladies, to introduce you to this. Now, I have, of course, introduced you to a number of speakers, and they've all spoken in their capacities and the roles that they play in the program. But then you keep hearing the program. What is the program? And I'm referring to All St. Lucia, or the training itself. Now, what is it? So I am going to give you a bit of an idea. We're going to explain to you as to what All St. Lucia truly is, okay? So, one moment. So what is All? The Academy for Women Entrepreneurs, or AWE, or All as it is stated, as Larry said, is a United States Department of State Bureau of Educational and Cultural Affairs funded initiative for women. It is a unique professional business training course centered around Dream Builder, which guides candidates through the basics of planning, managing, marketing, and funding a business plan to better position themselves in the market. You recall earlier I said reposition, so it definitely clearly speaks on that. Now, the implementing partner for All in St. Lucia is my organization, SLUDTERA. The program content for St. Lucia was developed by me with my team, which includes enrichment learning with project-based training. The goals of this program are very specific and clearly defined: to promote collective economy, prosperity, and global stability by creating a holistic, inclusive learning community to advance the development of women entrepreneurs. The second goal is to provide women with a clear and concise framework for either launching or developing their skills in a variety of areas to experience growth, which is essential in all business success. Lastly, to provide access to funding opportunities and networks which can greatly increase the overall output of women-owned businesses and social ventures. And as I stated, this is near and dear to my heart. And I am now going to share my screen again with you so that you can see a brief promo video of what this program is built on, what it entails. I'm praying that you're able to hear this one a bit better than the last one.
Today, more than 1 billion women are left out of the global financial system. Yet, we know that societies that empower women to participate fully in civic and economic life are more stable, secure, and prosperous. That's why the Bureau of Educational and Cultural Affairs at the U.S. Department of State has established the Academy for Women Entrepreneurs, or AWE. AWE is enabling thousands of women in countries all over the world to turn their great ideas into successful businesses with the support of an inclusive learning community.
The Academy for Women Entrepreneurs are going to bring tremendous opportunities for women to not only be trained, but to network among themselves to produce a brighter future. As we build women's ability to think economically, there are good things that happen in society. And this is just another one of the benefits of the U.S. government doubling down and really investing in all.
AWE is built on a powerful three-part strategy that provides women with the tools they need to create and grow successful business ventures. First, AWE employs a high-quality online business planning curriculum, which has been used by U.S. embassies to train women entrepreneurs with great success. In addition to online coursework, AWE participants meet regularly with facilitators and business leaders to tailor their learning based on local needs. Secondly, AWE helps participants develop networks and mentoring relationships that can provide ongoing advice and support throughout their entrepreneurship journey. And finally, AWE supports women gaining access to the capital they need to start and grow their businesses. AWE is committed to providing women the knowledge, networks, and access they need to turn their business ideas into reality.
Okay, so I got some feedback in the chat that the audio is not very clear. So what I will be doing is that I will be sharing the link to that video in the chat so that you can review it and take a look at it for yourself. So I'm going to be sharing that link here, and feel free to take a look at it. If you have any questions at all about what you would have seen in that video, feel free to connect with me, reach out to me, and of course I will clarify or answer your questions. Now, let me go a little bit further into what is required. So there are specific program requirements for all St. Lucia. No two all countries are the same. Why? Because it is tailored to the local market. So in terms of the program requirements, or should I say the eligibility, let's start with eligibility first. So who is eligible for all? So of course, applicants with disabilities are eligible. We do not discriminate against persons with disabilities, and they are encouraged to apply for the All St. Lucia program. But let me also say that the All St. Lucia program is for serious applicants only, because in my experience, and it is a general culture in St. Lucia, is that when something is free, persons tend to not have an appreciation for it. It is only when something is invested financially that they tend to have some sort of respect or, you know, some sort of invested interest into what it is that they're paying for. But because something is free, they'll be like, oh, it's free. I don't really need to do this. You know, I can come back to it when I feel like. That is the general idea for St. Lucians. And that is not something that, of course, we condone in all St. Lucia. We are only going to engage with and continue to support and empower women who are serious about what it is that they want to do. We're not about playing games, ladies, okay? We're trying to turn you into powerhouse women, and only serious women can become powerhouse women. Now we're looking for women who are 22 years of age and older at the start of the program date. Now, the program for this cohort is from August 24th, starting today, ending on December 9th. So anyone who would have been 22, of course, or older at the start of today would have been eligible for the program. Of course, have a clear business idea or business objective. Or if you have already been in business, must have been operating for no more than 3 years, give or take a year. Okay, depending on the nature of your business. Because for some, in some areas, some women may have left their business aside, or it's a bit of a seasonal business. So this is something that we would evaluate on a case-by-case basis. You also must be computer literate, because the Dream Builder component is online, which means you have to be familiar with the computer, with the internet, and with basic applications. You must own a laptop or tablet or desktop computer and have a reliable internet connection. And these days, Flow is having some, intermittency, with their service. Of course, it's because of the weather as well. So we have to be mindful of that. Also, dedicated, women who are dedicated and committed to completing the course. Your ability to participate in weekly group sessions, and you must be able to commit 5 or more hours weekly to accomplish your designated tasks. You must have a positive attitude. As you can see, I have a sense of humor. It may not be, kicking, right now, but, there are times when laughter is good. Laughter is good for the soul. We've heard that, right? So I'm all about having a great humor and a positive attitude, because with a positive attitude, you actually end up learning more. And of course, must be a resident and citizen of St. Lucia. And because of our eligibility rules, there are some persons that may fall into the ineligible category, but that does not mean that there are no programs for you. Yes, there are other programs that you can actually participate in if you don't meet the criteria for all. Now, of course, applications not meeting the technical eligibility requirements that I just mentioned will not be forwarded to the All St. Lucia Selection Committee. However, they will be able to check out other exchange opportunities on the exchange website, which of course I will be sharing with you in the chat. So you can take a look at what those exchange opportunities are that are going to be provided by the US Department of State in addition to all, okay? And they can also join the Wireline Network, which I am also a member of. It is a network of over, I think, 40,000 plus people, you know, from around the globe, connecting with each other at various levels, various industries, and always willing to help out. Last year, I had an amazing response for persons who were willing to mentor my ladies from the Wireline Network. So you never know who you can connect with, even though all may not be for you. There may be other exchange programs that you can participate in. Now let's take a look at, you know, what the program requirements are. Okay, so in terms of time commitment, candidates must commit to 16 weeks of training. So this is what you're going to be going into, the all ladies, the all inductees, 16 weeks of training, 6 to 8 hours of work per week in order to complete the program. The amount of time per week may increase around the time of project-based training, or PBT. And that is around October to November, around that time. And the inductees would be aware of should be aware of the increased time commitment required, okay? Now, all candidates, all of you inductees, are required to attend orientation today and orientation day 2 on Thursday. All right. Now, during this period of time of orientation, you will be introduced to the various platforms and programs that we will be using, and also the class schedule for the 16 weeks of training. There are also going to be weekly workshops and class sessions. So this is what you're going to be engaging in week to week. As Lisa said in her video, the first class starts tomorrow, and that is the personal development training. And that takes place every other Wednesday from 8 to 9 p.m. via Zoom. Now, in terms of the weekly workshops and class sessions, candidates must attend a minimum of 80% of the workshops and class sessions, missing no more than 3 sessions over the course of the program, which takes place Mondays, which is where we have our enrichment learning speaker sessions, Wednesdays, which is our, of course, personal development training, and Thursdays, which is our facilitator-led classes with me during the duration of the program. So in terms of the Monday sessions, that takes place from 8 to 9 p.m. The Thursday sessions, the facilitator-led classes, are held from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. That is every Thursday. And the project-based training can happen anywhere during the hours of 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., depending on the requirement, okay? In some cases, remote learning or remote training may replace in-person sessions, of course, due to COVID. We're going based on what is happening right now. So we have to constantly be moving along with the announcements that we are receiving day to day. Now, in terms of upholding our values, all candidates, mentors, and co-facilitators alike must, of course, know the culture code. There's a specific culture code that we have at All St. Lucia, and they must agree to meet the program requirements and uphold this core culture code, those values of All St. Lucia, one of which is we don't compete, we collaborate. We, of course, all, whether it be facilitators, co-facilitators, mentors, and candidates, you all remain ambassadors and advocates for All St. Lucia in your communities and in your work. The core values are critical and are non-negotiable. And we ask that all applicants review them before applying to All St. Lucia. You have to be willing to commit and uphold those core values. It's really, really important to us. Now, I want to share with you what the program of activities are for this particular training, this All St. Lucia course that we have tailored to the solution market, this is what you're going to be engaging in. Virtual orientation, that's what you're in right now. Day 1 this evening, day 2 on Thursday. 16 weeks of training, starting from, as I stated, this evening to December 9th, 16 weeks of training. We have a mentorship program that you're going to be engaging in after you have completed the 13 modules in Dream Builder. You're going to be paired with mentors that are going to help you work on your business plans, your action plan, and your community projects, those of you who will have those. Project-based training. This is where you get to work together. You're going to get to work on projects, on tasks that you're going to complete in partnership with other organizations, other individuals and businesses that we have sourced out in order to help you put into practice what you will learn in St. Lucia. Storytelling, and this is where you get to present your business or your venture to the local entrepreneurial community at Startup Huddle St. Lucia, and this takes place virtually. We have the Business Susu program. I really am happy about this program. This is one of our non-traditional methods of funding, where the ladies who are participating in this program, as you know how a traditional Susu works, each individual contributes a fixed amount every month, and then at the end of the month, a different individual in the program gets to draw this money, and those funds are put towards their businesses. Last year's cohort is still participating in the Business Susu this year. They're on their second cycle. And the ladies who have drawn the monies each month put these monies towards their businesses. So it's a great way to build discipline, to build trust, and to also plan ahead for your business. So you may not be in the position to go to a financial institution today. You may not be in a position to get a loan right now, but you can start out small. You can start disciplining yourself, and show the paper trail of that business Susu that you've been a part of. All monies are deposited into the accounts of the individuals so that they can be utilized for their businesses. Then we have the Expo, Showcase, or Trade Show. Now, this is a really big deal, guys. I mean, you have no clue how big this thing is. I'm excited about this one. So typically we would have had a trade show or expo face-to-face at an event with some tents, and, you have some tables, some chairs, and you showcase your products, to, customers coming in, and you have some other people next to you, booths and tents and whatnot. That's what you know a trade show to be, right? But because of COVID, we've had to improvise. And now we've taken it virtual. And this expo has expanded exponentially to the point where it is now encompassing all the all-speaking English countries, in the world right now. So anybody who wants to participate, any English-speaking or country who wants to participate in this trade show can participate. And for this year, we have up to 20 ladies who can showcase their products and services at virtual booths. And we're going to be hosting this event on the 6th of December. So you will get to connect with ladies from other countries. You will get to expand your reach to get potential clients and customers through this trade show and networking event. And I really am excited about it. We have the pitch competition. Now, the pitch competition is slated again towards the ending of the program. This is where you get to pitch to a panel of 5 judges. Those of you who will be participating in the pitch competition, you will apply by sending in your video, your pitch video, and the top 10 best will be the ones who will go head to head in this pitch competition to win that cash and in-kind services. So I'm very excited to see how you ladies use your storytelling skills that you will learn in Startup Huddle St. Lucia and then apply it in the pitch competition. We have the community impact projects. Now, I touched on this very briefly earlier. So the community impact projects, it is completely voluntary. You're not it's not mandatory that you create a project or develop a proposal, but it is something that I provide you an opportunity to do. We review, there's always something in the community that needs to be fixed. There's always something that needs to be done. People who need to be assisted, a problem that needs to be solved. So what we're asking you to do is to open your eyes, look beyond yourself and what you're currently doing, and see what's happening in the community around you. It could be your immediate community where you reside. See what's happening right now. Is there anybody that's in need of anything? Any short-term project that you can implement, that you can devise a solution for and help solve a problem? Or if it is something that can become long-term, where you will provide, of course, you will draw up a proposal and then apply for funding, of course, adding a sustainability component so that you can start off on the right foot. So this is where we challenge the ladies to see where are their challenges, where are there things happening in the community that they can help to solve, and create a project for that community. It could be, like I said, residential. It could be outside of it. It could be the entrepreneurial business community. It could be the educational community. You decide, but your project must have impact, which is why it's called community impact. And then those proposals will be assessed and will be submitted for grants that you could get funded and then implement and execute your projects in partnership with a SLUDTERA and any other partners you may, of course, want to bring along. We encourage women to, we encourage the candidates to partner with each other, of course. We want to, really feed this empowering women who support women initiative. So we encourage women to partner together to implement these projects. Then, of course, we have our virtual closing session. Now, typically at the end of the training, we have an end of course quiz, and then we have a closing session to kind of wrap things up. It was only possible for last year's cohort for us to actually meet in person and network together. We had a wonderful time. Each person brought a dish, brought a beverage. Persons got to see and got to, show their skills, those who did catering, and we had a wonderful time. But because of COVID and because of our numbers, we have to remain small. And then we created this virtual ceremony. It's not graduation. It's just something to culminate the training that you would have been undergoing for the next couple of weeks. And that is where you get to share feedback. What it is that went right, what went wrong, and what could be done better. Then we have the end of year graduation. This is going to be a massive spectacle. I like to do things big. So last year we had a really big, event. We used Hopin for that one. And it was really exciting. I mean, we had over 95, attendees at that event. And that was amazing. People from all over the world joined this graduation ceremony where we celebrated 47 women who graduated that year. And this year we're graduating installment 1 and installment 2 of the cohort year 2021 graduating together in December of this year. And I'm looking forward to seeing how, this event really unfolds. And finally, post-program sustained engagement. One thing that that of course I want to create is a network of all of us women where we can continue to engage with each other, even after you have completed the program and after you have graduated. We are going to continue to connect with each other. So we have created an alumni page where you can connect with alumni from the previous year and so on and so forth, and continue to collaborate, network, and see how you can help each other grow. And of course, there are other resources that you're going to have access to, such as the Global Entrepreneurship Network, the Young Leaders of the Initiative program for some of you who are qualified, and other networks that you will be, of course, introduced to. And these are the program of activities for All St. Lucia. I know it looks like a lot, but I'm going to be honest with you, I challenge my ladies. Like I said, I challenge my ladies because I know that you have potential. And it is only when you are challenged, you're able to put your best foot forward. And there's no other way to really share that than to hear from the ladies themselves. We have wonderful, phenomenal, awesome ladies here that we are celebrating who have made it through the application stage, through screening. They submitted videos, saying why they should be chosen, and they made it. And I can't wait for you to hear from them yourself. I also want to thank some of our members from last year's alumni for joining us this evening. Thank you so much for being here and for supporting this year's cohort. And we also have a few from the first installment here as well. Thank you so much again for joining. We have the local media here. Thank you for being here with us. And now, without further ado, I'm going to turn the floor over to our ladies of the evening. I will no longer steal the show from you, ladies. It's all about you. So I'm going to call upon each of you. And as I call upon you, please unmute yourself, smile brightly, say who you are, share the name of your business, and of course, tell people how grateful you are to be here. All right? So I will start with Vernon. Go ahead, love.
Hi, good night. Excuse me, I've got bronchitis, so when you see me doing the coughing. Vernon Vijay Reynoso. My company business, it's an umbrella of little separate companies, and it's Scarabs de Fleur de Lis. It's something that I'm St. Lucian. I currently am in the States, but I've been traveling back and forth. And my family's like, why do you keep going back? And I keep saying, I just had these dreams about putting my footprint in St. Lucia, and just, because I feel there's just so much in St. Lucia that a lot of people are like, let me leave. So I said, I didn't want to wait till I'm 65 and older to say I'm gonna develop something in St. Lucia. And I do believe in generational wealth. I think that's something that's awesome. My dad's doing a great job in showing us what it's all about. To be honest with you, it was like a godsend getting into this, because I've been trying to maneuver doing business in St. Lucia. It's just been a hurdle. It's just been, I think sometimes people say, oh, she's American. I'm not. I'm a St. Lucian. I'm from Fort Joye by the river between Grace and Bellevue. I have that St. Lucian heritage. The Bellevue, is the cultural part of St. Lucia, and I'm very proud of that. I really want to get my business going, moving. It involves cottage rentals, also farming. I'm also one of the Helen's daughters. I'm actually coming home on Tuesday, God willing. So I have that excitement of, when it's time to pack, I've got lists of stuff to do. So I'm just very excited. Thank you guys so very much. I just really look forward to getting with the program, going through the program, and hope that everything the gentleman was saying, I was looking up grants and the angels or something. So I've been doing my research. I've been doing quite a bit of research and trying to get grants, etc., and doing stuff. I've also been trying to do stuff for the community, like you said. You guys may not, some people aren't into carnival, but my band, Fleur de Lis Carnival Band in Beaufort, that's my band. And so that's a little separate, you just try to do something different. But that's one of the things that I've been trying to do something different. I'm in Beaufort, but I wouldn't say South, because I don't want to say South, because then it's kind of like I'm putting aside the Bellevue, Grace Fort Joye away, and I'm not going to do that. So, but once again, thank you so very much. Hopefully I've said everything you wanted me to say on here. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Vernon, for introducing yourself.
I didn't get the name. What is her name? What is the name of the lady who just spoke?
Vernon Vijay Reynoso.
And Vernon, can you also state the
Okay.
name of your business as well, please?
Scarabs de Fleur de Lis. And it's an acronym.
What's that?
Scarabs is an acronym with St. Lucian's Caring, and it's the initials of my children and my grandchildren. And I actually made that up before their names came into being, so it's meant to be, okay?
Where do you operate from?
In Viewfort. In
Oh, okay. So you're based in St. Lucia. Okay.
Yes. Mhm.
Okay, Vernon, if you would please type in the name, well, your name and the name of your business into the chat so that our attendees can have a better idea as to what it looks like. I'm gonna ask each of our ladies to do the very same. When it's your turn to introduce yourself, when you're done, type in your name and also the name of your business so that our attendees can know what it is that you do, okay? All right, do we have any other questions for Vernon before I move on to the next person? All right, I believe that's it. Okay, awesome. So the next person I'm going to call upon is Tammy Frederick. Please unmute yourself and introduce yourself and your business, please.
Hello, everyone. My name is Tammy Frederick, and my business idea is called Webmasters Design Studio. The services offered by Webmasters will be flyer designing, website designing, printing services, as well as product labeling. I'm very excited to be part of this program. I'm looking forward to being part of this program as well.
Okay, thank you very much, Tammy. Please type in your name, first name, last name, and the name of your business into the chat so that our attendees can see what it is that you do for those who did not hear. All right, thank you very much, Tammy.
Okay, no problem.
Awesome. And I'm going to move right along to our very next person, Miss Marla Poyot. Please unmute yourself and tell us a little bit about who you are and the name of your business.
Hello, good night. My name is Marla Poyot. I'm from Dennery, St. Lucia. The name of my business is called Marla's Delight. I am so grateful to be here. So I am so grateful to be here so I can get the opportunity to learn different things to manage my business. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Marla. Same for you. Please type in your first and last name and the name of your business into the chat so that our attendees can see it there. All right, and we're moving quickly along to our very next inductee, and I'm gonna call on Yakima Nelson. Yakima, please unmute yourselves and introduce yourself to our attendees.
Good evening, everyone. Can everybody hear me?
Yes, we can, but you sound a bit muffled. Also, can you turn your camera on, please?
Yeah, I'm unable to turn my camera on. It has been giving me issues ever since I joined on to the meeting. Is that okay?
Okay, I understand. That's fine. Okay, you can go ahead with your introduction.
Okay, my name is Yakima Nelson. I am from Delight, Dennery. The name of my business venture, it's in the idea stage, is called I Mean Venus. And I'm very grateful to have been selected for this elite program. And I Mean Venus's mission is to remind women of their true potential through related messaging on clothing and providing the female market with a versatile product that empowers them, educates them, and shows off their feminine flair, as well as boosting their self-esteem. Thank you. Good night.
Wow, that is very impressive. Very impressive, Yakima. Please type in your first and last name into the chat as well and include the name of your business And we move to Ms. Kyle Fabius. Kyle, please unmute yourself and introduce yourself to our attendees.
Hi everyone, my name is Clell Flavius and I'm from Castries, St. Lucia. My business idea is called Glow Cocoa, and that's GLOW, Glow Cocoa St. Lucia. And it's the business will just be a way to use coconut sustainably in the use of coconut oil, coconut soaps, coconut body scrubs, coconut candles, and much more. And I'm so grateful to be selected for this elite program. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for introducing yourself, Clara. I have one question for you. I'm not going to put you on the spot too much. Just one quick question. Do you know of anybody else who potentially uses that same name, Glow Cocoa?
Before I termed the name Glow Cocoa, I did research. There is one company, the name of that company is not Glow Cocoa, but the product is Glow Cocoa. So I might need to change it up a bit, but that's basically my idea.
All right, so we definitely need to work on that. And I see Kerchelle, nodding her head. That's definitely up her alley. So we will be working on that during the course of the program, right?
Thank you so much.
And Vanessa and Kerchelle, they're here for you. So let's get to work on that. All right, thank you very much, Kyle. Put your name and name of your business into the chat. All right, so the next lady we're going to hear from is Abigail Charlie. Abigail, please unmute yourselves and introduce yourself, please.
All right, so good evening, everyone. My name is Abigail Charlie, and I am from the district of Beaufort, that is in St. Lucia. The name of my business is Snack and Go. It's basically a food catering business, and I would like to incorporate Mexican cuisine. I think right now tacos are very popular. It's getting very popular in our country. So I want to bring about that fast food idea and incorporate other food ideas too. I'm very grateful for this opportunity and I look forward to a better venture here. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Abigail. Please place your name and the name of your business into the chat. And next we're going to hear from Anita Wilson. Anita, please unmute yourself and introduce yourself.
Hello, good night. My name is Anita Wilson and my business idea is called Creative Expressions. Basically, I do designing of business cards, customized thank you stickers, labels, and I'm looking to do other stuff. I'm so grateful to be part of this program because I believe that I will have more self-confidence and my business will be established and I can better plan my business by being part of AWE St. Lucia. Thank you. Oh, one more thing. My business name is Creative Expressions, but I noticed that there is somebody else with Creative Expressions. Just to say my expressions start with an X and the other person only starts with an E. So I'm not too sure if that will be a problem.
Well, people always find to differentiate themselves, but of course, when we get into the program, we will work around that and of course the nature of your business as well. So thank you again. Anita, please type in your name and the name of your business into the chat. And next up, we have Emmanuella Ferdinand. Emmanuella, please unmute and introduce yourself.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Emmanuella Ferdinand. I'm originally from Suffolk, but I reside and operate in Castries. My business names are Lizzie's Cakery and Chocolates. I do custom cakes, different pastries, also looking to tap into custom chocolates, hence the reason for the chocolate part in the name. My other business that I've started as well is called Sauce It Up. Since I have a heavy background in restaurant and culinary, this other business caters to mainly seafood and also private chefing for guests to our island. I am very grateful to be part of this team, and I do look forward to learning so much from everyone.
Thank you so very much for that introduction, Emmanuella. Looking forward to working with you starting next week. Please put your name and name of your business into the chat. And next, we're going to call upon Chantal Julian. Chantal, please unmute yourself and introduce yourself to our guests.
Hi, everyone. My name is Chantal Julian. And my business idea is Shanta's Hair and Beauty Salon. I am very grateful to be a part of the OR program. I would first like to thank the Almighty for giving me the grace and for affording me this privilege of to be part of this program. Also, a special thanks to Marvin Grant, I see he's on right now, for pushing me, in finding out more about the program and also encouraging me to join the program. I would like to say thank you so much, and I am willing to learn new ideas incorporating it into my business. I know this program will greatly assist me and help me in knowing and learning the different strategies and how to move forward in my business. Also, how to approach persons of different backgrounds, because coming to the beauty business, you find persons of different backgrounds, and so I'm hoping that this program would be able to teach me how to deal with persons from a different background. I look forward to what all has to present to me and to assist me with, and have yourself a blessed night.
Thank you very much, Chantal, and we're glad to have you with us. You are a very promising young woman, and I can't wait to see what you bring to the fore, particularly because you're in such a saturated market. So it's going to be very interesting to see how you put yourself uniquely out there. Now we're going to go to Miss Stefia Hippolyte. Stefia, please unmute yourself and introduce yourself.
Hello, good evening, everyone. I am Stefia Hippolyte, and I live at Plateau Barbados. That's on top of the hill where it's really cold. It's a pleasure to be here. My business idea, still in the idea stage, is called The Greenery. And again, I'm very grateful to have been selected for this elite program. Basically, The Greenery, the whole purpose of putting this business together is to form a fusion between tourism and agriculture in St. Lucia. When visitors come to our beautiful island, obviously our cuisine, I believe, is phenomenal. And I really believe that when it comes to our agriculture industry, we need to be able to support tourism as much as possible, so that the produce that is available to the hotels and restaurants are of the top value, good quality, consistency. And that is my aim, that is my objective, and I trust that through this program I will be able to accomplish that goal. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so very much, Stefia. Please put your name and the name of your business into the chat. Let's go to Miss Abigail Atkinson. Please introduce yourself.
My name is Abigail Atkinson. The name of my business idea is called Illuminate. My business plans to tackle two things. One, a major contributing problem to pollution, that is taking single-use aluminum items and turning it into something that is reusable, because aluminum can be so persistent, it's long-lived, it could be very toxic in the wrong environment. And my business idea definitely plans to tackle that. We also plan to tackle the pesky problem of a poking bra wire. Aren't you just sick and tired of having a wonderful bra that you love so much and the wire just persistently keeps poking out? So it also aims to develop a customizable bra repair kit to match the color of the bra. So this is definitely an idea or where I'm heading at.
That's
Thank you.
Interesting, Abigail. You piqued my interest. I mean, I didn't think I would have been able to get piqued, but you piqued my interest. Because I suffer from that bra digging sensation. I think every woman at some point in time has had that experience. So I think I'll be your very best friend. You know, you can try you have a lot of test subjects here. So let's see where this takes you. So thank you so very much. Please put your name and the name of your business into the chat. And let's go to Siobhan Anatole. Siobhan, please unmute yourself and introduce yourself.
Hi, good night. My name is Siobhan Anatole, and the name of my business is Chevy Q, or Chevy Q Spices. The nature of the business is agro-processing and packaging into using the raw materials and turning it into the product. So it's like, say, for example, I have something called the mango achar or the mango chutney. If Vanessa is still here, she's in Trinidad, she would know what it is. It's quite spicy and it's really tasty. I'm also into the golden apple as well, the golden apple chutney, and I'm also adding to it as well the mango jam, mango chutney. Also, the other product that I have that will be coming out in perhaps by November would be local fruits that I'll be adding to the Chevy Q line of spices and jams. And thank you so much, Michelle, for even accepting me onto this program. I was introduced to this program by a friend of mine, and I told her in the beginning, I can't do this. I cannot do any more classes. And she said, look, try this. You have decided that you're not going to work for anybody else again. And she said, do this one final program for the year. It's going to benefit you. So Michelle, I do appreciate you considering me for this. And I do pray that I make it to the very, very end. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for that, Siobhan, but you're not going to make it to the end. You're making it to the beginning. There's no end here. It's continuous learning, you know, and progression. So think about it that way. You're just beginning a journey, right? Thank you, Siobhan. Put your name and the name of your business into the chat. And I'm going to go swiftly into the very next person. Let's hear from Brittany Charles. Brittany, please unmute yourself and introduce yourself.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Brittany Charles, born and bred from the Republic of Labrie, but presently residing at Auger in Vieux-Fort. I have a registered business which has not been taken off the ground. The name is Essential Mart. And I have a business idea called Falling in Love. The "in" is spelled I-N-N. This is for focus for Lucians, fellow Lucians, and also Lucians overseas for a weekend getaway or a vacation with friends and family. And I am very grateful and excited to have been selected for this elite program. Thank you.
Thank you very, very, very much, Brittany. Please place your name and the name of your business into the chat. And I'm going to go to this next young lady. Her name is Elena or Elena. Please, please, please. I'm not going to hurt myself by pronouncing your last name. I'm not going to do that to myself. So please unmute yourself and introduce yourself to the rest of us.
So, hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Is your camera working?
No, it's on right now, but I'm not sure if it's, you can see me, I'm not sure.
Oh no, it's a completely black screen, but go ahead with your introduction.
Okay, so my name is Elena Potonier, for reference, that's Potonier. My business, I usually refer to it as the chicken, but I noticed there's a lot of businesses with that name. So that's just one aspect, but I call it temps libre, meaning in my free time. So I call my business temps libre. What I do is I do agro processing. So right about now I have a chicken coop, like a really small one, and I do salted eggs for people upon request. So not many people, I guess, eat it or know about it. So I do it on request in small batches, but like it's like not really profitable. So I guess I was grateful to be chosen for the program so that I would get more knowledge, more insight, so that I can I guess that's it. All right, thank you.
Thank you very much. And how do I pronounce your first and last name?
It's Elena Potonier.
Elena Potonier.
Yeah.
I'm going to have fun with that name at classes. You're going to put me in a tongue twister, Elena. My goodness. Okay. All right. So thank you so much for that intro. Please put your name and the name of your business into the chat. And let's see who we're going to go with next. Celia, have we heard from you as well?
Hi, not as yet.
Well, Celia, how could I have thought that we have heard from you already? I have a tick next to your name. My goodness.
I'm not sure why. Hi, everybody. Good evening. My name is Celia Litoville, and my business idea is holistic lifestyle, a healthier you. First of all, I would like to thank God, and I would also like to thank my friend Lydia, who introduced me to this AWE. This is the second time that I've tried. I tried the first time, I was unsuccessful, but then she said, don't give up, try again. So here I am, successful this time, thank God. I actually volunteered with Diabetic and Hypertensive Association. And I can see the impact that diabetes and chronic illness in general is having on our population, especially now during this COVID period. So my idea or my aim is to become a health coach where I can help empower those persons, individuals, to take charge of their health, you know, to eat better, to you know, have a more holistic lifestyle. And it's not just what you eat, but it has to do with the total individual and not just what you eat. So that is my aim, to become a health coach. And I just want to thank you for having, you know, granted me this opportunity. And I look forward to, you know, this journey, and I'm so excited, you know. So good night, everybody, and thanks once again.
You're very, very, very welcome, Celia. I remember you, you said Lydia Octave George, right?
That's correct, yes.
Last year, she's an alumna from last year, and she very much impressed me, you know, for last year's program. She's in real estate. And the fact that you applied, you didn't make it the first time, but you made it this time. So this was your time.
Meant to be, yes.
That's all it is. This was your time. So I would like you to take this opportunity to congratulate yourself and to thank God again. That,
oh yes, congratulations, Celia. Thank God.
Man, you are here now, and this is your time. He knows what's
definitely
right. So I'm looking forward to engaging with you, please put your name and the name of your business into the chat so everybody can see.
Okay.
All
Okay,
right.
thank you.
You're very welcome. All right, so there's one of the inductees who could not make it in this evening. She is having issues with her device and her internet service, and her name is Angel Ernest. And Angel really wanted to be here. Unfortunately, she could not. But I will, of course, be giving you an idea as to what Angel's business is. So Angel Ernest, the name of her business is Cake-tastic. And I think by the name, you can get an idea as to what type of business it is, right? She does with cakes. So now I'm a lover of cake. I mean, when I say cake, I mean, I love birthday cake. So you can typically see I eat cake only once a year, you know, once a year. If you believe me, I eat cake once a year. But I'm very specific about the type of cake that I eat. So I am very excited to hear from Angel during the program and to find out what makes her business so very unique, because there's so many cake businesses and companies popping up all over the place. So it's going to be very interesting to see what Angel's business is about. And that is Angel Ernest of Cake-tastic, who could not be with us this evening. And I have another young lady here. Her name is Jalissa Daniel. Jalissa, could you try, I know you're having some audio issues, but let's test that out. Can you please unmute yourself and see whether you'd be able to introduce yourself? Let's try that, Jalissa, and see if that works. Okay, so Jalissa, what I'd like you to do is to type in your name and the name of your business, and we'll just read it out that way. Well, Jalissa Daniel, she's here. She's one of our other inductees. Unfortunately, she's having some mic issues, some audio issues. So I'm gonna have Jalissa just type in her information into the chat so that you can see what her business is about and who she is. Having some audio issues here with Jalissa. Is there anybody that I missed that is currently here?
I didn't get a chance to introduce myself.
Oh my
God. I registered last minute. I only registered this afternoon. And, you know, can I introduce myself?
Oh, sure, go ahead. This is a networking event. We're all, you know, introducing ourselves to each other. Go
all right. So my name is Fabiana Downer in the US, but I'm actually a St. Lucian. I'm now residing in California. So I'm in Los Angeles right now. So I'm very curious about, you know, everything when it comes to learning and growing and personal development. And so I saw this and I go, oh, that looks interesting. And it's for St. Lucians and I'm a St. Lucian. So I thought, why not register? So I did. But, and I love the program. I love to hear everything that was said today, and it's really, really great. And I'm so happy there's so many business-minded young people that are going into doing their own business, because that's the way out. You know, we can't be employees all the time. If we want to build the future, we have to do it ourselves. But I'm coming from a financial background. Just a little about myself. I am in the medical field, but 5 years ago, I realized that financial literacy was really lacking. Coming from St. Lucia, I didn't know much about money. All I knew it was the bank. So I became curious and started learning about what people are doing, how people are getting rich, what they're doing. And in the US, 2% of the people that are wealthy, 98% of the people that are broke. So you have the well-to-do and the not well-to-dos. So I took an interest and I joined this company, which is called World Financial Group. With partnership, we're part of Transamerica Financial Advisors. So it's a big, really a big financial industry. So what I'm doing is I'm in the educational field. So we do complementary financial education, literacy financial to everybody. And we have it via Zoom, and we're not selling. So we're not selling anything. However, you know, there's a bigger part to that business. We partnership with 150 companies. So we like more or less producers. And our business is we work with people, companies like Transamerica Financial Advisors, Prudential, Nationwide, you know, all of those big financial institutions. So I am really in business for myself. So I am a business owner. This is my business, but I get to partnership with World Financial Group. And if you Google World Financial Group, you'll see that they control the financial industry. Actually, more or less, I would say in the world. So they're big. So I'm so proud as a St. Lucian that I am affiliated to this organization. I bring a lot to people, to everybody. It doesn't matter if somebody's making $50 or making $1 million. We could sit with them. So like I said, I'm in business for myself. I have the backup of the company, and we do, our mission is to bring financial literacy to everyone. We do growth and development, personal development, mentorship. We build businesses. So we'll look at a little person and we'll build them up. You know, we'll do a business plan and all of that. So I get to do that. So I don't know how that would, like I said, I was just curious to see what you guys are up to. And if there's anything I can share, because, you know, I'm licensed, by the way, I'm licensed by the state of California. So I can only talk money because I'm a licensed professional. But, you know, I'm very humble. And if anybody wants to learn, you know, anything about the stock market, you know, the difference between a mutual fund. I know St. Lucia is getting all of those now because I'm following the trend to see what's happening in the financial world. And finance and tech is the way to go now, you know. So you people that are getting into your own business, and this is the smartest thing to do, you know, grow your business, develop yourself. Personal development is the key. We have to change our mindset, you know. Like somebody's talk about that, and unless we do that, we've got to build ourselves. So I just thought I'd share that. And again, I'm open to talking to anybody. If anybody wants any information, any family in the US that can benefit, can learn about retirement, taxes, you know, and everything when it comes to money. We're like a one-stop shop. That's my story.
Viviana, for sharing that information. Please put your information into the chat so that we can have a way to connect with you. I'm sure that a few of the ladies, of course, would want to connect with you based on what you said. So please put your contact information into the chat. Thank you so very much for joining us this evening. Now, of course, we've come to the end of introductions of our ladies. And
one more.
Oh, we have one more. Who did I miss?
Shanta.
How could I? You see, I don't know what's wrong with me tonight. All right. All right, go ahead and
ladies. My name is Shanta Fontenelle Eugene. I'm from Deriso. My business name is Splendid Events, Designs and Decor. I have a passion for decorating. So
Yeah, my tagline is every love story is beautiful, but we make yours unique. And I aim to make everybody's decoration, everybody's event that I design, I make it unique. I make it fit their story, fit them. And that's how you get the satisfaction from your customers, by pleasing them. And I look forward, I am elated to be part of this group. And I look forward to all of us sharing our ideas, our expertise. And I would love to see that where one person is not, how would I say, strong, that somebody else who is capable would assist. Like you said, we're not in this for competing, but to facilitate each other. Thank you.
Yes, you are very, very, very correct. It's not about competition, it's about collaboration and working together as women who empower women, or women supporting women. This is a movement that we are creating. Right. So we have gone way past our time, unfortunately, way past our time. And I still have to connect one-on-one with my ladies to, of course, give them the next steps for day 2 of orientation. So I am going to say a very, 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 very good night to everybody. But before you leave, those of you who have not yet put in your contact information, and that is everybody who is here. Those of you who have not put in your contact information, please share your information in the chat. Please do so that we can connect with each other outside of this opening ceremony. I would love to connect with you to find out more about what you're doing. Thank you for being here and for joining this opening ceremony. This is the second installment of All St. Lucia for 2021. And I'm really elated, to start the training process. We start our very first session tomorrow evening with personal development training. And then we have day 2 of orientation on Thursday, where the ladies get into the nitty-gritty of the training and prepare their platforms and their devices and their minds for the work ahead. So again, those of you who have joined us from the public, those of you who are supporters of our inductees, the members of the media, also to our US Embassy official, Mr. Laurence Socha, the representative of Global Entrepreneurship Network, Mr. Pauly Suchy. I want to thank each and every one of them for being with us. And I'm going to ask that the inductees remain in this meeting so that I can, of course, share with them the next steps. I also want to thank our alumni for joining us this evening. I think I am going to, let's see if any one of them are still here. Yes. I'm going to allow 2 of them to see something. Cleo, I'm going to put you on the spot. I know I'm famous for that. So one of our alumni, one of the first installment ladies is joining us this evening. And I would like to call upon her so that she can just share briefly what her experience has been so far. I mean, she's still in the program because she's from installment 1. And of course, give a couple of words of encouragement to our ladies who are about to begin training. Cleo?
Thank you, Michelle. Good night, ladies. Michelle, somehow I knew you were going to do that. Somewhere in the back of my mind, I just knew it. But, I just want to say, hearing everything here tonight, whatever you ladies are hearing tonight, and however exciting it sounds right now, it is nothing compared to actually going through the course. It is going to be even more exciting. There's so much more. It's like the more you get into it, and this is how it was. The more I got deeper and deeper into this course, is the more it's like oohs and ahs. It's like, my eyes will open up so wide, and it just made me more aware, and I received more direction. as to where I'm going to go, where I am now, where I'm going to go. Because when I joined this program, I had already started my business. However, I lacked guidance. And this is one of the main reasons why I joined. And having done so, it just, I found myself on a path where things are now so clear. And not just that, but then there are so many opportunities and networking opportunities. So I just encourage you ladies here tonight, open yourself as much as possible to receive, because there is a lot to receive. And there is a lot to put into it as well. As Michelle said, it's a lot. It is an intense course. So right now, I just want you to focus and, just put it in your mind that, you know what, I'm just gonna get this done. It's a lot of work, but at the end of the day, it is worth it. What we are receiving, honestly, it is worth a very high price tag, and we are receiving it for free. So I encourage you to just really go out and just give it your best shot. Thank you.
Thank you, Cleo. I think you knew I was going to put you on the spot, because nobody can say it, better than you can. From the first installment, nobody can say it better. And because you are still in the program, you have not, fully completed it as yet. You're still in the process. Nobody could have really summarized it better than you could. But I'm going to call on one other person. And this person is from last year's cohort, so that she can briefly share with you what her experience was like, and also what she learned from the program and the impact it has had on her, and so that she can also give you some encouraging words as well. I'm talking about Miss Denisha Agar, that we call her Chef Agar. Denisha.
Hi, good night, everybody. Welcome, ladies, welcome. I hope everyone enjoy and appreciate and learn a lot from the experience. It will be something that you would need to put the time and effort into. You will learn a lot, network with many persons, learn from persons from near and far, for sure. So the experience in itself, I would say, how would I say it? It's an exciting one. It helps you become a professional. It helps you with your business. It helps you to become a more confident person in what you're doing, and to better show off and assist other persons who may be along the same path with you, or even on another path, but learning in the process. So please do enjoy and have a wonderful evening.
Thank you very much, Denisha. Denisha is a wonderful chef, by the way. I have not tasted her food as yet. I don't know why, but yeah. Thank you so very much for joining us, Denisha. Denisha is from last year's cohort of 47 women which graduated from the program. I'm going to call one more person, and I'm going to call her because I have a lot of respect for her, because she, in a sense, mentored me when I first started, my business, and in the direction I was going. And, now we're in a position where we can help each other. And we're now working together, to help other women, up and coming. And I'm talking about none other than Miss Camille Paul. Camille, I know that I didn't, tell you this in advance, but I'm going to put you on the spot there a bit. Camille is from the first installment cohort. Camille, please introduce yourself and share with them the experience that you're having, in this training.
Good night, ladies. You hearing me, Michelle?
Yes, we're hearing you loud and clear.
Great. Good night, ladies. It's a pleasure being here tonight, because it's good to take it from the beginning and ensure that you finish what you start. I joined this program out of curiosity, that was one, and I really wanted to see what exactly was being taught, because in my career, I read all the business plans and I mentored persons and I declined the loans and I approved the loans. So I wanted to see what format was being used to prepare you. So that was the main reason why I joined the program. And I was so surprised to see the format that was used to complete the business plan. And I think that was what really inspired me. I was taught to do the business plan completely different to the way Michelle will teach you. And I believe her style is very, very, very good. I love it. And at the end, you will have a business plan that you can understand. You'll have a business plan that you'll be proud of because you know you were the one who completed it. You put in your information, and she made it very simple so that you can understand. Because sometimes, even when you come for a loan and they ask you for a business plan, you feel so intimidated. But when you finish with your business plan, when Michelle is done with you will realize that the finance people cannot get you intimidated again, because you will be able to, you at that point, you are able to answer questions, you'll be able to understand what you have in your business plan and so on. So I'm encouraging you to start the program and make sure you finish the program. Now, there are times when it can get a bit, I don't know what word, I do not want to scare you, but you might want to give up, because at some point I told Michelle, you know what, I'm gonna leave this thing. But I use the word determination every day to try to encourage myself. And I want you to tell yourself tonight that I'm going to finish what I started. And if you remember that little tagline, you will complete it. So I wish you all the best. And I am praying that you finish the whole program. And at the end, you have your business plan in your hand. Okay, so enjoy.
Thank you so very much, Camille. Camille has of course had several years experience in the financial industry and in business as well. So, you know, this is coming from somebody who has extensive knowledge. So please take note of what she said. And yes, she did say it. It is going to be tough. And this is me admitting this to you. It is going to be tough because I need it that way. I want to challenge you, ladies. I'm not an easy person when it comes to doing work. I challenge you because I know you have potential. But whenever you feel as if you can't do any more, that's where the personal development coaching comes in. It helps you to keep going. And then when the spiritual development comes in with the devotions that we do and working together, you will understand that you have a purpose in this life, so you can't give up. You can't. And you may learn some things about yourself that you never knew before. And this is just, you know, coming from me as an individual to another individual. You've heard it from alumni, you've heard it from the mentors, you've heard it from the speakers, and I'm just saying it to you that I believe in each and every one of you. Some of you may want to change direction when you begin, because you would, of course, the knowledge that you would have gained would have educated you a little bit more about what's going on around you in the market. You may decide to pivot in terms of, you know, whether your delivery of your program, or you may decide to do something totally different, or you may decide, you know what, this is not for me, and I don't think I'll be ready to sacrifice this much, because to be an entrepreneur, it takes a lot of sacrifice. It takes a lot for you to get to where you need to be. But know that you have a support system around you. That's one thing you need to remember. Us women, this network, these individuals that you are hearing from and connecting with, we are all here to support one another. And I'm going to, of course, share my contact information as well with you in the chat, in case any one of you would want to connect with me outside of outside of St. Lucia in terms of finding out, what those resources are, what those programs are, because through my organization, we run more than one program. I mean, we run several programs throughout the year, and we are supported, by the US Embassy, and they have been a supporter of me and my organization from the onset, believing in what we produce and the lives that have been impacted, by SLUDTERA and its programming, working with youth, unemployed, and entrepreneurs. That's who we work with, and that's who our programs are geared towards. So I'm really be excited to connect with you. So this is my LinkedIn contact. If you need to reach out to me, I am available and we can connect. So again, I would like to thank each and every one of you who spoke, who shared your remarks, who introduced yourselves. We've gone way past our time. I do apologize for the late ending, but I will be asking our ladies to please remain with us while we say good evening and adieu to everyone else who is on the call with us. Again, thank you so much for joining us and have a blessed evening. Sleep well. Praise the Lord for this event. I cannot wait to get started. But before we leave, let me just quickly pray. Father, Lord, I want to thank you so very much for us being here this evening. Thank you for allowing each and every person to be here, to connect, to network, and to share experiences. I cannot wait to start this opportunity with these women, help these women to understand that they have a purpose in this life. And through this training, through the connections, through the devotionals, and through the personal development workshops, through the projects that they will be doing, and through the other ladies, their colleagues, their co-inductees that they'll be working with, they will understand that they can make an impact on this economy and an impact on St. Lucia, so that we can build a more resilient nation, Lord. The women of this nation are the mothers and the mothers and the nurturers, natural nurturers of our ecosystem. Help us and lead us and guide us to do what you need us to do, Lord. This I ask and I pray in your Son, Jesus Christ's precious name. Amen. Thank you, thank you, thank you to those of you who've joined us. I bid you adieu, and I will ask our inductees to remain here so I can share with them the next steps. Have a good evening, everyone. Inductees, please remain on the call.